Hello, Connor here. Today we're excited to launch our new feature called Documents, which is currently in beta. To set the scene, you've just had a couple of meetings with a client and now it's time to send off that paraplanner request form. And in order to do that, you're going to need to reference all the information across your past meetings rather than just a single meeting. And that's where Documents comes into play. So let's dive into it. First thing to notice is that the client page here has been improved and reworked a little. So you'll see that we have Clarity Plus on the left here, and it's been collapsed to give a bit more room for everything. And then a few details on the right. If you scroll down, we've got our list of meetings that we've had with this client. And on the right is the documents. So let's create a new document. Now the first thing you'll notice is that there's a big beta banner there. And what do we mean by beta? Well, essentially it's the version before version 1.0. And so we're still working out a few things and looking for feedback on how to improve it. So rather than us going away for 3 months and building what we think's the best document generator, we're keen to get your feedback and help guide how we build this in order to make it the best possible. So as you get a chance to play around with this and use it yourself, if you've got any ideas, just click this provide feedback button and let it go all in the chat, and we're keen to hear everything that you've got to say. You know, are there other types of documents that you want to see? Is there a better flow on how to lay things out? Do you want to see transcription in here? All that sort of stuff, just send us a message. We're keen to hear it. So with that, we've got essentially two sides to this document generator piece. The side on the left here, as you can see, we've got the instructions input and we've got the reference material. Now the reference material is essentially all the other meetings and documents that Claris will be able to reference when coming up with this document. So we can see here that we've got the prospect call meeting and the discovery and engagement meeting, but it's important to note that only finalized meetings will be used here. So if you have a meeting that's processed and maybe you forgot to finalize it or haven't got around to doing that yet, we'll show you a little alert there saying, maybe you want to finalize that meeting so it can get included in here. If that's the case, simply come back to the client, click on that meeting and go finalize. Then when we come back to the client and back to that document, we can see it's showing up there. Great. So Claris now has access to all the file notes from this client in order to put together this paraplanner request form. The instructions section is where your professional input comes into play. So this is information that wasn't necessarily mentioned inside the meeting, and your professional guidance that you need to put together for a paraplanner request form. We do have some examples here which you can click to show, and this is a good starting point to make sure that you cover all this. So here's something I prepared earlier. This should give you a good idea on kind of the level of detail that potentially looking for. And yeah, just writing out the rough outline of professional recommendations, like what products, what the requests are, like if you need modeling for this, alternative things considered, all that sort of stuff that you'd usually put into a paraplanner request form. Just jot it down there. And then we can start generating our sections. Now, sections, you can think of them as headings for a document, just a way to split the document up. because unlike file notes, these documents may be pretty big in the future. So we're kind of splitting them up section by section, which will help Claris generate the most detailed and accurate input. So we can see here we've got pretty generic paraplanner request form. And if we go start generating sections, Claris will start with the first section. And again, it's going to be able to reference everything that you've put in that input field. It's going to be referencing all of the past file notes and pulling out the key information that it needs just for that one section. And so it's put together the just general details as best as it could with the information available. It's saved that. And the service requirements. Now, if at any point you notice something that's incorrect in the generation or in a particular section, say for example the SOA fees or ongoing advice fees, something's not right here, we can simply come up and stop generation, and that'll pause it wherever it is up to. And we may want to edit something inside of this because it will affect parts later on down in the document. If that's the case, we can just come back up to the input here and add something else here. So here we've put just something simple. For example, rather than no commission, we'll put an upfront commission of 5% and ongoing of 2%. And then we have the choice then of regenerating just that one section or regenerating that section and all the ones below it as well. So let's click this one and continue generation from here and onwards. So there we can see that Claris has now included that 5% upfront commission and the 2% ongoing commission there. And of course that can be done for any of the sections, right? So as that's almost finished, maybe in the administrative details, we need to put the paraplanner firm there and a little information about our firm. And again, we can just pop that into the instructions. If everything else is done, maybe we'll wait for that to happen. Okay, so it's generated 12 of the 12 sections. We may want to go back here and put some of this information in. So if we don't need this anymore, we could clear it, or we could just add it to the bottom there. So let's just put our details in there. So put the name of our firm here and my email for the contact. So if we regenerate this one section, and there we go, Lighthouse Wealth and my email. So then once all the sections are generated, you can go through, check them all off. Again, if any need regenerating, you can do that at an individual level or for that one and all the ones below it. And then once we're ready, we can just download that as a docx file. And there we go. We have our paraplanner request. Now, of course, like I said earlier, this is just the beginning. I know there's going to be a lot of feedback, which is going to be great to hear. So please do send through any ideas or suggestions you have, what you'd like to see. And yeah, we're looking forward to continuing to build this out. And any questions, as always, just send through a message in the chat and we'll get back to it as soon as we can. Thank you.